All right. So now let's talk for a moment about the features available on an autonomous AP. And we're talking about additional features, not basic connectivity, but what are the additional features that are available for our autonomous AP when it's acting alone, not controlled by a wireless LAN controller? What features do we have available to us? So I want you to go ahead and pause your video for a moment and list out the autonomous AP features that you can think of, those additional features. And we'll go through them one by one. All right, hopefully you had enough time to answer the question. Let's go ahead and take the look at our first feature. Now, hopefully you have client link on your paper. If you don't, I want you to go ahead and add it now. Now, client link is a great feature, but I'm not going to tell you what it does. I want you to tell me what is another name for client link. Go ahead and pause your video now and put in your answer. Client link is also referred to as beamforming, folks. This is when we can use RF signal 802.11n or AC devices to improve the performance and coverage and reduce all those coverage holes or black holes in our environment by using multiple beams to increase the power of the signal. This is called beamforming. Lots of people use it out there in the world, so good that you know it. All right, client link and beamforming. Now, can anyone tell me another feature? Band select. Yes, band select is also another feature in our environment. Now go ahead and write down or tell me, what is this band select feature in our environment? Pause your video, unpause when you're ready. Great. Hopefully you had enough time to answer that. Band select allows us to move clients. Let me make sure I write this correctly. Move clients from that 2.4 gigahertz crowded range where we see lots of traffic to the 5.0 gigahertz clients range. This allows for better speeds, less interference, all sorts of goodies. But band select, if you remember, has a cycling to it that will actually deny the first request to join the 2.4 gigahertz range. It'll actually deny that for a set number of cycles, depending on how you have it configured. And then the client will attempt to join the 5 gigahertz. The 5 gigahertz is really, really where we want them. All right, let's reveal another one of the features that AP has available to it in autonomous mode. Spectrum expert mode. Boy, does that sound familiar. What does Spectrum Expert Mode do? Go ahead and pause your video now. Write down your answer and then let me know. All right, hopefully you had enough time to answer that. Spectrum Expert Mode is supported by all items that have clean air enabled on them, like access points and like a 2700 series, like a 3700 series. And what it basically is it's a dedicated spectrum sensor that the autonomous access point can be connected with like a MetaGeek channelizer or some other third-party application that allows for an analysis of the wireless spectrum around that AP. So it's more like a surveying tool or an analysis tool of our wireless traffic at that point. So what I'm going to put is it's kind of like a monitor, isn't it? And any model that has clean air is able to do this. And it can be used with third-party applications. Okay? Hopefully you got something of that nature to the Spectrum Expert mode. You don't have to write exactly what I have, but be very, very similar. All right, let's reveal another one of the features. Support. Support for what? Well, I'm not going to make you pause the video on this one. What we're really looking at is IPv6 support. We have the ability to do that with our wireless access point. So we have a lot of support built in. Really, I want you to focus on IPv6 support for our autonomous environment. All right, the last but not least, universal AP. What in the world am I talking about when we say universal AP? I'll give you a hint. Has something to do with priming. Okay, pause your video and put in your answer. All right, hopefully you had enough time to put in your answer. A universal AP is not regionally primed, meaning we have not associated the AP with the region in which it resides. Remember, Japan has its own regulatory bodies as it pertains to wireless. The US has its own bodies. Europe has its own bodies. So when we have an AP, we oftentimes want to prime the AP, whether through a manual or automatic process, to the region in which it resides, the geographic location of that AP. Is it in Japan? It needs to adhere to Japan's wireless regulation. Is it in the United States? It needs to adhere to the United States regulatory bodies. In universal AP mode, it is universally acceptable, but you definitely want to prime it to your location. All right, folks, I hope you had a great time. This was very important stuff we covered. Uh, it's not all of our lesson, it's just a couple things out of our lesson that I felt were important and worth quizzing you on. So hopefully you did really well. If not, please review uh, our former exercise, and we will come back and take this again. Make sure you do a lot better next time, all right, if you had trouble. Thank you, everyone, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.